Nation, welcome back to another Detroit.Sports.Alliance RoundTable where we talk all things and only your Detroit Lions. Oh, we got a good show for y'all today, people. It is a good day. I am in a good mood. I am still going to give you some real today. However, I am in a very, very good mood. And as always, people, this is a family affair. So let us introduce the people of the family. Starting out with my first Padre up here in the building, Mr. Real from the Real Detroit Lions fans. What's going on, Real?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm excited to be here. It's a rare time when it's a Tuesday lately that I've been free. So I'm glad to be here and glad to be talking Lions after that win.
Facts. Hashtag facts. And then we have up Mr. Andrew, the other half of that dynamic duo of the Real Detroit Lions fans. What's going on, Andrew?
Not much, man. Looking forward to talking some Lions. What's going on?
Yeah, Andrew had, I think he might have the question of the day. I love that question he came up with. And then we got the queen herself, while she out here saving the lives of beautiful animals and pets. Miss RachelMarieSports. What's going on, Queen?
What's up, guys? I am super excited to be on the show tonight. It's been a minute. Life has been crazy. Luke is right. I found a kitten in the gutter. It's just a lot recently, but I'm so excited to talk football with you guys tonight.
Absolutely. And last but certainly not least is Mr. 313 J-Mo, the heart of the city. What's going on, man?
I'm starting to feel like the Lions won because, Rachel found us in the gutter and took us in her home.
Yeah, right.
Little kitten, and that's the Lions. She found us over there in the trash, looking bad, but put us in the home and we won the game. But what's good, everybody? What's good?
Hey, I hope she hit that cat with that. Remember who you are. You remember the Lion King scene? Remember. I hope she hit us with that. Listen. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a good show. We got a lot to talk about. Obviously, the Lions won on Sunday. If you hear my children in the back, I do apologize, but I am on dad duty, as I am always. So I take that serious. And so he's pretty much running around causing holy terror. So excuse that up front. Now, people, let's hop right into this. First things first, I want to talk about this thing about the Detroit Lions because I have been paying attention to social media. That includes Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, my Discord, and a host of other social media different outlets where I have seen literally two sides of a fan base. And so it got me to thinking about this. Which side of the fence are you on? So the question of the day right now, starting us off, is how do you feel about the Lions winning against the Washington Redskins? What are your thoughts? Happy, sad, upset, frustrated? Give me your emotion, starting off with you, Real.
If the question's asking just to isolate this game, then I'm happy with the outcome, of course. And honestly, to be completely honest, I thought that there was some really shady officiating. I don't know. I haven't really talked to you guys about it, but there was some really shady officiating towards the end of the game that really kept Washington close. And I feel we were able to overcome it at the end. And I really liked that final drive with, Prater's obviously amazing field goal kick. So, ultimately I'm happy, but obviously there's some concern, no doubt.
Okay, what say you, Andrew? How did you feel about the Lions beating the often call them their old name, Washington, on Sunday?
Yeah, overall I was a little flustered. You're up 21 points. You're driving the ball down, the field on offense just amazingly. In all seriousness, Washington's a top 10 defense. They have a lot of playmakers in that front seven, and we kept Stafford clean for the most part, but the fact that we blew a 21-point lead was kind of saddening. Honestly, you shouldn't be up 21 points and allow a team to come back and just everything just stops. Your offense stops, your defense stops. And, we're put in a situation where we have 16 seconds to drive down the field to kick a game-winning field goal. But I'm happy that we won. At the end of the day, a dub is a dub, right?
Well, listen, absolutely. A dub is a dub, depending on how you view it. Just putting it out there. So if y'all, my computer.
That's how you feel.
My computer. it does this from time.
This boy talking about
I'm just saying. It does this from time to time, and I apologize for
it's all good, man.
These technical these technical difficulties happen when you least
this boy
expect
getting
it.
shut up by Indiana out here.
You know,
it's all good, man.
I'm just saying.
It's all good.
I'm just saying, like, what is our record? I'm just, but it's, again, I do apologize.
Hey,
it happens.
Dropping donuts out here, man. Dropping donuts out here. You balling.
Yeah. I just felt the need to share, some important news. That's all it was. It wasn't nothing like that.
Luckiest game of y'all life. Y'all see y'all couldn't play football after that. Like y'all literally got
we had one luckier game against Michigan for sure.
I just didn't,
Hey, I don't want to hear about that though.
The computer does what it want to do. J-Mo, what are your thoughts, man? How you feeling after that win after we beat the Washington football team?
I'm just glad Michigan didn't get shut out this Saturday. But Washington football team, man. I'm happy about the win only because I expected to win. I'm the type of person, if I expect you to win, you should win. And if you don't, then I'm going to eviscerate you with a lot of criticism because this is the Washington football team. I don't care what you think about Matt Patricia or this team. We shouldn't be losing to them. Like, that's why I wanted Matt Patricia fired. I've told y'all this many times. I wanted him fired because we lost to Washington. Like, I was like, you cannot lose to a team that bad. I don't care if Stafford wasn't playing. And that's when I realized this dude, if you can't beat a team like that, then you're trash. But, I expected to win, so it was what I expected to happen. I didn't like the comeback and the roller coaster ride that the Lions love to put you through every week. But end of the day, the main thing that I loved about this game is we started DeAndre Swift. And to me, that's a bright spot for this team.
Okay, well, listen. I'm saving myself for last for a reason. Rachel, what are your thoughts? How are you feeling after the Lions beat the Washington football team?
So I was happy because I'll always be happy for a win for my team. Got into a lot of conversations on Twitter about it with people that were like, how could you be happy for this? Don't you understand this? Don't you understand that? I'm like, listen, I understand perfectly exactly what's going on, but you don't play sports your whole life to go, damn it, they won. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So actually, Jeremy Reisman had a tweet earlier that pretty much encapsulates exactly how I feel about it too. He said, if we're talking long-term, there's absolutely no question that wins are quote-unquote bad. But I'm a man that enjoys instant gratification. Give me wins today over potentially better draft pick tomorrow. And that's how I feel all day. I think we talked about it in the group earlier, like tanking in the NFL just isn't a thing. Stop thinking that they're going to get on board. Like, somebody's going to say, we're tanking now. And then everybody's like, okay, yeah, we're tanking now. They're going to try to win every game. And every game that they win, I'm going to be happy for, whether it means we fall back in the draft or not.
It's funny because it's a comment on the screen right now. And I was literally telling Lions Lee, shout out to him, and JGB about a post that I saw, and I said that hold on one second. Son, okay, I know you tired of the Lions. We get tired of them too. Okay, yeah, so there's a post about it, and we're gonna get into the Everson Griffin talk a little bit later. Here's my thoughts. I want my team to win every Sunday. And to me, if my team is not winning every Sunday, I'm not happy. Now, let me get to the reality of it. I'm not saying nothing about officials. I'm not saying nothing about shoddy play call. You had a lead, and you took your foot off the gas. And to me, that's inexcusable. And I was very disappointed in the fact that it took a 59-yard field goal for us to beat a team that's hot garbage. The same team that took a player that you probably would have took had you not lost to them in the first place. So it's frustrating for me to see that level of disgust in terms of them struggling with this team and not get angry about it. So it really bothered me. So let's jump this over to another thing, because in talking about that lead, I gotta ask, and we're gonna start this off with you, J-Mo. Does it concern you with the way the Lions continue to show a history of blowing leads under the current coaching regime?
I'm gonna be honest, Luke. I feel like this is your question, right? Like, I feel like you really trying to ask an honest question, but to me, it's just hilarious. I don't care about blowing leads. We trash. Like, it's 1,000 things I'm concerned with. Like, blowing leads. We suck
but
on
blowing
defense.
leads is a big one. It's a big thing.
No. My thing is the team is so trash. I don't have one thing that I'm pointing to. We suck. That's the way I feel about it because, like, they blew a lead. That's something I've seen them do all year. I'm used to it by now. Like that to me, it's the consistency of being trash, and that's just a part of it. Our defense. I mean, man, I'm praying for them. Like, because I feel like the offense be trying so hard, special teams be trying so hard, and I don't know what's going on defense. So to me, the blowing the leads is the same thing I've been seeing, and it's why I want Matt Patricia fired, and I'm disappointed in this team. So it's not nothing new to me.
Okay, I mean, okay. Listen, for me personally, I'm still concerned. Even as much as I want Patricia fired, I am still concerned because Daryl Bevel is not calling a good game. His play calling sucks. You know what? I'm gonna bounce this question and come back. Rachel, what's your thoughts?
I mean, it's certainly mind-blowing that we see them continually lay off the pressure when they have a lead. I mean, like blitzing, we were blitzing in the first half. The pressure actually looked pretty good. And I'm looking back at my own tweets like, oh, here I am going, this pressure, oh my gosh, they're actually blitzing, you know, it's fun. It's actually making the defense look like they're doing a pretty good job. And then for them to take their foot off the gas, not only defensively, I mean, you see them kind of go back to playing man. You kind of see them go back to only sending 3. I think, of course, that's absolutely frustrating. I don't think there's another answer for this question in that regard. I mean, they need to figure it out, obviously, to this extent they haven't. But it's Bevel, too. I mean, he takes his foot off the gas offensively. He called a better game this past week in the first half. But damn, did he kill the offensive momentum with a lot of those play calls when they came back out in the second half. Like, things that are working, he just seems to move away from. And so we see that on both sides of the ball. That's absolutely frustrating. But, you know, I went back just to kind of look at stats on this too, because it feels like it's not just a this regime thing. But, you know, this regime has a lot of it. I did think it was interesting to see that of the Lions' 50 biggest blown leads, I was looking at a list, there were 5 double-digit blown leads in the 2015 season, resulting in losses, including that Dallas playoff game, and that was a great season. So I was like, that's insane that we blew double-digit leads in all of the losses, well, all but one of the losses that season as well. So it just kind of felt reminiscent of like something that's been happening for longer than even just right now. And that's what makes it so much more frustrating.
Right. I mean, and again, it's one of the things that I look at and I'm like, yo, this is something that I noticed too, like you, that was happening before he got here. It's just that since he's been here, it's been way too consistent. like it is not like we're blowing leads to like really good teams. We're blowing leads to like bums, and that's what's bothering me the most. What are your thoughts on this?
Blowing leads to everybody. It don't matter if you good or bad or medium. Blowing leads.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like if you go through his history, you just notice like, yo, why are we like we like blowing leads? And it's like, yo, and it's amazing to me. Like I'm also amazed at the fact that teams that we were better than have caught up and surpassed us, and that to me is another issue. But Andrew, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, what is your view on this team continued history of blowing leads?
Dude, I mean, it's depressing. There's no other way around it. To me, what I think of when I see it, I'm watching the game, all I can think of is, wow, you're able to put a 14-point lead in the first quarter. Wow, you're able to go up 21 points by halftime. Wow, you're able to do – dude, if you're able to do that, why don't you freaking do that for 4 quarters instead of saying, well, we're up. Why don't we start sending 3 and dropping into coverage? Why don't we just start running the ball nonstop? Why don't we just get predictable? Like, if you're able to put up that many points and be that dominant in certain times of the game, just freaking do that the entire game. It's so frustrating. I've been saying this for years. If we were an aggressive offense and aggressive defense, we would be performing a lot better. The Buccaneers literally just kept piling on points last game against Carolina. They didn't stop when they had a 15-point lead, a 10-point lead, whatever it was. They literally were like, no, we're going to make you so mad and just crush your entire soul. That's literally what they did, and that's what dominant teams do. They don't let up. I've seen literally the Ravens, I'm pretty sure it was last year, it was like 40-0. 40 points to 0 points. They didn't have to do that. Nope. But you know what? Dominant teams do that. And that's the problem I have with this, is that we have the capability of doing that. We have playmakers to do that. And we get in those positions to follow through with it, and we stop and we change the game plan. And it pisses me off.
Well, you know, it's one of the things where I think it's a frustration for most fans. I think that the average fan is upset. The football diehard is in disgust. And anybody who knows accent O is looking at it saying, God, you're so conservative when it doesn't matter. And this goes back to that old saying that I was saying, like, I'm sick of watching them play these games to not lose versus playing it to win. Once you up, you don't take your foot off the brake. I remember there was a story about a high school basketball team that scored like 100 or some points, and they basically told them if they score again, they were going to disqualify the team. And the coach was like, forget that, keep scoring. And people was like, oh, he's terrible. No, that's a hard lesson in this. You don't want to feel like this again, do something about it. What are your thoughts on this, Real? You know, the Lions have a continued history of blowing leads. What is your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think everything that you guys said encapsulates all of my opinions as well. I think that being a Lions fan, we've suffered from this for a long time, you know, like Rachel has been saying. And I think it's just kind of something that we've gotten used to. And like Andrew was saying, with the play calling being conservative, like that's the problem with a lot of people that really believe in Stafford and believe that if Stafford had great coaching, that he'd be a Super Bowl winner. It's because we've seen, you know, Jim Bob Cooter and Joe Lombardi and now Bevel, like, having these very complacent and just relaxed play calling when it doesn't make sense. And then when you need, you know, the game winner and a game winning drive, you give it in Stafford's hands and he could just, you know, cut down the field like a knife, you know, a hot knife through butter. So like, it just doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I totally agree. I wish we were one of those teams like the Chiefs or like Tampa Bay or honestly, Arizona's doing it. It looks like, you know, the Seahawks are doing it, that just piles on the points. Like, you have the weapons to do it, go ahead and do it. And I feel like I just don't understand why Hawkinson's not being targeted more, or like why you take Swift out of the game and put Adrian Peterson in when Swift was doing so well at certain points. Yeah, I think that's an ongoing concern. It's been that way my entire time being a fan of the Lions.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you, but believe it or not, you brought us to our next segue, because this is the one bright spot that everybody enjoyed on Sunday, and that was that Lions rushing attack from one Mr. DeAndre Swift. So, you know, Miss Queen, we're gonna start this off with you. The Lions rushing has been really successful under Swift. Is that more of a offensive line thing or a Swift thing, or what do you think? Is it a combination?
So I think the answer here has got to be both. I think Swift's vision, especially this past week, I mean, it was incredible, but I think the O-line is creating some absolutely beautiful holes for him as well. I mean, I'm actually so impressed often by the O-line's ability to run block, especially this past week, that I sort of want to give it 55% to the O-line and 45% to Swift, not to discredit him by any means, but the O-line's actually playing very well, and I really don't want to take that from them. So, I mean, round of applause for all of them. Absolutely. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not taking anything away from anybody. I think it's a team thing, and what they're putting out there together, or what they were putting out there this past Sunday, it was pretty.
Yeah, I think you can make the argument for both. I'm going to go a little bit opposite. It's definitely the offensive line. I am amazed. First of all, that D line that they play on Washington is no slouch. There's a player on that team that every Lions fan, minus me, wanted in Chase Young, and he was basically null and void. Which again, that was to his issue, which I always had a problem with, his lack of effort. But they really did a good job of moving them, of getting them out the way, opening lanes up.
Absolutely.
And for the first time for the first time, I can say that I saw moments where it almost looked like the Dallas Cowboys, where Ezekiel Elliott would be getting like tackled at these 4 or 5 yards down the field. I was seeing a lot of those same things, and I thought that line did a very good job of giving them some space to work with. Wasn't too many times he had to cut it back. He just hit the hole and went full steam ahead, and that's a contribute to the offensive line. Real, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, do you think that this rushing attack getting better and showing improvement is more so because of Swift or the offensive line or something else, like a combination?
Look, to me, it's definitely the offensive line, like you just said. I saw the penetration of the offensive line where the running back wasn't even getting hit. Yeah, like you said, until he's a couple yards down the field at least. And that just boosts everything. And then finally you rattle off a couple big runs, and that's huge. So, Swift played great. He showed his speed, he showed his vision. I liked what he was doing, and I liked what he brought to the table with his talent. But I saw huge gaps. Like, I could literally go back to the film and like point out 3 huge gaps where he went untouched through the line of scrimmage. And we haven't seen that in a long time. So all of the people in the chat saying that Bevel's terrible, you got to give credit where credit's due. This offensive line has done a great job, and it's something we haven't seen on the Lions for a long time.
Yeah, that goes to that offensive line coach. He got them boys playing right.
No. Listen, man. Look, maybe it is the offensive line coach, but Bevel as well has done a great job with it. Like, he's done this wherever he's gone. He's had a great run game and great blocking and offensive running help. So I don't know. You got to give credit where credit's due.
That's a fair point. I ain't gonna kill you on that. J-Mo, what are your thoughts, man? I mean, is this more of a Swift contribution, offensive line contribution, a combination of both? What are your thoughts?
I definitely feel like it's a combination of both, but I got to give a lot of credit to Swift because some of his decision making was like next level. Like the way he would decide to cut and the holes that he would choose, because some of his runs, there wasn't really a hole and he had to make a cut or make another decision to get open. Then he had those outside runs, and then out of the backfield, I mean, he was a nightmare. On that touchdown, I didn't even know Swift could run routes that good because that was the first time. I mean, he had my man's like backpedaling and doing the moonwalk. John Bostic, an ex-Lion who was trash. I didn't know he was on that team. But it's just funny. I'm like, oh yeah, they got John Bostic, really? But that's just another conversation. But I think Swift, his burst, his speed, and his explosion is just something special. His power, I mean, he was literally hitting people and going through 2 people and getting more yards. But Swift is definitely, he showed that he could be a dominant football player, and all we got to do is give him the touches because we see AP. I mean, he ran well behind that line too. With the few little carries that he had. So we've seen the offensive line block well for Adrian Peterson or other people, but we haven't seen a dominant performance from a running back that's going to win us the game. And I definitely feel like Swift had a huge impact.
It's funny. I'm gonna address this question in a minute, but it's funny because it's one thing that irritates me the most about DeAndre Swift, and I'm noticing it too often. And one of them, he realized it and said it's my fault. If he just keeps running, why does he keep this stuff? It was somebody explaining to me what's this damn stop and go thing he be trying to do. Just run past them. I don't get it.
Right. Take the shot. I mean, take the chance at least because, yeah, I know what you're saying. I saw it a couple times. I think he was just surprised that with the momentum that he actually had and he was out there that he's like, oh, shit, I wasn't even planning on being over here.
Right, but it was so crazy. Like the dude had a horrible angle on him, and I'm like, you cut yourself. It is not just him. The deep pass to Quentin Cephas. Just keep running. What are y'all stopping for? just keep running. So it's weird. Andrew, what are your thoughts, man? I mean, do you think that this success of the run game is this a DeAndre Swift thing? Is this more of a offensive line thing? A combination? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, no running back is getting anywhere without their offensive line, so it's a combination. But what I saw from Swift definitely was that more of it is going towards him, because if you watch how he played last last game. He literally was hurdling people. He was spinning on tackles. I'm pretty sure he had the most broken tackles out of all the players this week. I mean, that touchdown he had, he literally trucked the dude, completely obliterated him, and then broke through another tackle for the touchdown. You know, he's hurling people. His spin move is filthy. He is shifty. I mean, in all seriousness, every time he either juked or had a spin move, I'm like, oh, he's about to get an extra 4 yards. You know, I mean, the guy is phenomenal, but you have to give it to the offensive line too, because they were opening up holes. You know, they were getting their assignments done. Another reason why I'm leaning more towards Swift here is because Carrion and AP are also getting touches here and there, but they're not breaking it like he is, you know? And so I just got to give the man some credit.
You know, it's funny you brought up the whole thing about the trucking. And one of the things that I always pay attention to the details. The only reason he ran that defender over because he stopped his feet and waited for the contact to come to him. You know who else do that on the Detroit Lions? Deron Hartman. And it irritates me.
I mean, you're right about what the defender did, but it wouldn't have mattered. He would have ran through him anyway, bro.
He probably would have. He probably would have.
It would have been worse. The
defender didn't help himself. He literally stopped.
And he was scared. That's what it was. He was like, man, I don't want to take this hit. Like, that's what he said.
Kasem Lyon says, why do we struggle to get a pass rush? Is this a scheme or player issue? If you take 100% and you break it up, 60% of it, I would say, is the scheme, and 40% is the player. When you look at the New England Patriots way, New England generally don't have a lot of high-end pass rushing, sack leading people a lot of times. A lot of times it's a collective cause, and I think that's scheme. But then you got to look at the players, and some of the players are just $1 late and a day short. And at the end of the day, you know, I'm going to go with the idea of scheme. Now, this great question we finna talk about right now is complimentaries of one Mr. Andrew. I saw this and I said this is going to get some people upset, and hopefully we can keep it clean. But
J-Mo.
Good luck.
Andrew with the hate.
And we're going to start it off with you, Andrew. If the Lions continue to utilize Swift in the run and incorporate Hockenson more, do we really need Kenny Galladay?
Yeah. So obviously, you know, this isn't going to be a liked response, but for me, what I am seeing is that you incorporate DeAndre Swift more, you make him the workhorse running back, you target your top tier tight end, and then you trickle in people like Marvin Hall, Marvin Jones, etc., and you have a good offense that can drive down the field. Given this is obviously dependent on the scheme and play calling, but most running backs, and this is literally historically proven, within their first 4 to 6 years are when they are the most effective in their career, okay? So you don't need to slowly ease in DeAndre Swift. You need to wear him down, okay? You can't just be giving this guy 10 touches a game, 15 touches a game. Christian McCaffrey is getting like 30 freaking touches a game. Dalvin Cook, all these guys. Why? Because they're a beast, and you need to give your top playmaker the ball. Okay, so we need to be doing that and then incorporating Hockenson and the rest, like I said. Okay, you saw what we did in the first half. We were able to put up points, and that was against a very dominant defense. Okay, I don't care what the record is. Their defense was statistically in the top 10. Most of them were top 5 in every single category: points against, yards, rushing, like literally everything. Okay, and we destroyed them in the first half, and that was with aggressive play calling. Okay. We've seen it. I think, yeah, Galladay would help it, but if you change your scheme to fit it around your star running back, like Carolina does, you know, like the Vikings do, like all of these teams do, you can be a more efficient, more, you know, overall rounded team. You know, you see it with the Titans. All these teams that incorporate their star running back are very good teams, you know, so – yeah, I mean, I think we can get by without Galladay.
Listen, I'm impressed. I thought J-Mo was finna go into the building, but you up next, J-Mo. I mean, if the Lions continue to utilize Swift and incorporate T.J. Hockenson more, do we really still need Kenny Galladay?
Andrew, my brother.
Oh, Jesus.
This man said, no, I knew it was going down the rabbit hole when he was like, yeah, I want to just take Swift and just grind him up and chew him up and spit him out so we can destroy his career early. That's when I was like, oh, man. Oh, look, I want Swift to get carries, but I don't want him to get as many carries as Christian McCaffrey. That's why Christian McCaffrey is injured now. It needs to be like 20 carries a game. But regardless of that, when it comes to teams with these dominant running backs, most of them do have a dominant receiver that help balance everything out. From the Saints, you brought up the Titans, they have AJ Brown. It's a lot of these teams. You know, I don't want to give a guy like Clyde Edwards-Helaire 30 touches and just say, you know, we don't need Tyreek, we don't need Kelsey. What? If you have Kenny Golladay on top of all of this, because Hockenson isn't always going to, in our offense at least, he isn't always going to be the main factor. When you add in Kenny Golladay, that just makes everything great. You don't have Cephas, struggling to track balls, and you don't even have some of the inconsistency in the offense. I can't wait to see Kenny Golladay when Swift is having a good game and he's just getting single coverage all day because it's people in the box. I think we've seen them work pretty well together, and we've won games with it. So all of a sudden, just because we can win a game without Golladay, don't mean that we don't need him on the field. And I mean, that was Washington. Like, come on, like that's who it was. So when I'm looking at it from that perspective, you have to have all of your horses. All of these teams have a dominant running back and a dominant receiver, and they win games with it. And when I'm looking at Kenny Golladay, his value is really being underestimated out here. People just think like you can just replace him and he's just some run-of-the-mill guy, and he's nothing out here. And I love DeAndre Swift, but I'm not trying to run DeAndre Swift into the ground. And we got too many horses and all the people that we use. My brother Andrew want to destroy Swift's career and get rid of Golladay and end up with Cephas and Marvin Hall. And Marvin Jones will be gone and just be hoping and praying that it's just gonna work out there. That's not how the NFL works, man.
Hold on, I just gotta respond to this real quick. So I'm not saying ruin DeAndre Swift's career. I'm just saying like it's proven that within those 4 to 6 years, you're getting the most out of the running backs. That's when they're the most productive. So yeah, I want him to get touches. I want him to get between 20 and 30 touches a game. That's standard for
but his
any
touches don't have nothing to do with Kenny Golladay though. Like, he's going to get those touches. He was supposed to be getting those touches at the beginning of the season, but we know what our coaching staff did, though. So that's not going to affect anything. Like, it's just going to make the team better. You won't see that inconsistency in the offense, because I'm telling you, when there's people in the box and Kenny Golladay getting single coverage, that's going to be a nightmare for teams.
I mean, listen, I think y'all both got good points, to be realistic. I mean, but my overall view is no, we don't need Kenny Golladay. And my reasoning for it is if you're using the tight end and you're running the ball, which means that you're essentially doing what the New England Patriots have always done, playing a short game and controlling the clock and forcing you to have all the pressure on you, you can draft any receiver. You don't have to go out and sign a big name receiver and stuff like that. If you just look at it, most times the big name receivers aren't the ones out there getting to the Super Bowl and winning them. And so to me, you just need a collective group of people who can catch the damn ball. Does it help to have a good receiver? Yeah, I mean, sure. But if you're telling me that we're going to be a run first team, that's a run first and to the tight end second and receivers third, why would I need to pay a guy $25, $30 million?
Yeah, but that's not what we're telling you, man. Y'all being disrespectful. That's not the type of team that we are. And we'll never be that way.
Right, but the question was, if they continue to utilize Swift and target TJ Moore, do we really need him? And so if that happens and they're winning and they're having success with it, why do you need that receiver? Like, I'm just being honest. You don't.
So, no, yes, you do.
Why?
Because against the top teams, Swift and TJ Hockenson isn't always going to have that great dominant game. Just using people more isn't always going to yield the results that people think it is, man. Because Swift isn't always going to have that breakout game. So you definitely need Kenny Golladay to take the top off the defense.
Well, listen,
y'all being mad disrespectful out here, man.
The only thing is the only problem is this with your statement. You said you definitely need that receiver to take the top off the defense, but you and I both know that we have a high percentage of contested catches because they're not taking the top off of the defense. So
he is a great D-ball receiver.
No, listen. I'm just pointing out.
Like, so what are you talking about? What you talking about?
Listen.
Kenny takes the top off the defense with the deep ball. What are you talking about?
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
J-Mo, what he's referring to is taking the top off is like a Tyreek Hill type situation where you're getting up in the range.
Randy Moss,
you can take the top off, but you can take the top off the defense in the same way as long as you getting the deep ball route. It don't always have to be
Kenny Galladay. Listen, like Kenny Galladay got maybe 2 or 3 clips of his whole career where he just wide open, and it's because somebody blew a coverage assignment. He didn't just take
and it'd be a 50-yard catch.
But that's not taking the top off.
After that, they back
that's
up.
not taking the top off, J-Mo. Taking the top off. That's what I'm
talking about, though. I'm talking about him. I'm talking about him going for deep passes and getting
J-Mo, we know what you're talking about. We're trying to get you on page for what we're talking about.
I know
and what we're talking about is
that's not
different.
what I was talking about. That's what I'm saying. I know what y'all mean, but that's not what I was talking about, which why I changed it.
He got too many contested catches. And the guy
still is a great deep ball receiver, so that's what I meant. We still need him going deep.
But he is not. Listen,
what
he listen. If you want to say he's a deep ball catcher,
he's been a deep threat for his whole career.
Oh my sweet!
This man led the league in yards per catch. What are you talking about?
That's not because he. Okay, J-Mo, hear me out. Hear me out, J-Mo, hear me out, bro. Hear me out. A person who takes the top off means that
I'm not talking about. I just told you I changed it to him getting deep passes and being a
let's go with deep. Let's go with deep threat. I'll take your verbiage. He's not even a deep threat. He's a good possession receiver who can win some jump balls. That's what he is. He ain't listen. Who is he out? Who he burning? Who he burning?
Well, let's see. Kenny Galladay last 2 games, 19 yards a catch, 26 yards a catch, but he not a deep threat. What? The 40-yard bomb that Stafford threw against Arizona, he was just, that wasn't 40 yards. What are you talking about?
Lee Bender, worst in separation, great in 50-50 ball catches. Exactly. This ain't no guy.
He's not the worst in separation on the team, actually. So that's not true.
Oh my God. Listen, Rachel, give me your thoughts on this. I mean, if the Lions continue to use DeAndre Swift and they target TJ Hockenson more, do we really need Kenny Galladay?
I kept my answer for this one short and sweet because I knew there would be a lot of conversation. And I think there's one key word in this question, and that's the word need. I think need and want are 2 different things. I think we need a better defense to win games. I think we want a top 10 wide receiver to help out with that.
Queen. Preach,
but I'm just going to keep it that simple because I do think it's that simple. I think realistically, when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, we need a better defense to win. We want an awesome, and I love Kenny Galladay. Like, you guys know that. I have a Galladay jersey. I rock it all the time. I love Kenny Galladay. And I would love to be able to come to terms and keep him. But I think need and want need is the word in that question that is just so subjective.
So basically, if Swift is the dominant running back and we got Hockenson, we just don't need a dominant number 1 receiver.
At this point,
like, what?
I think at this point in time, my answer to this is I could almost care less about offense until our defense isn't borderline the worst in the league.
I agree with you.
It's so bad.
We talking about offense right now, though. Like, we're talking about Swift and that's what I'm saying, though.
I'm not.
It don't even have to be Galladay. I would pay. But
that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I didn't say anything about. That's why I'm not part of my answer. It really doesn't even have to do with offense. My answer more so has to do with what I think the need is being outside of offense entirely. I think the need is that our defense is so bad. We need so many pieces there to even really worry about any receivers blowing the top off or anything like this, because it doesn't matter if our defense is constantly trying to lose us the game.
I mean, listen, I just love how she killed that. Just slaughtered it to death. I mean, need is the key term, and that's why I said no, we don't need them. Seattle didn't have no top number one receiver when they went to the Super Bowl in back-to-back years. They had a bunch of makeshift people. They ran the ball, threw the ball to the tight end, and would hit wide receivers underneath short. You don't need all that. I'm just saying. And
well, if you give me the greatest defense of all time, or close to it, you ain't gonna need a lot of stuff.
Oh Jesus! Now we know that's not true. Come on now.
Like, how much offense the 2000 Ravens need? How much offense the 2000 Ravens need? They ain't need nobody. They had Trent Dilfer out there. Come on, man. That was Legion of Boom.
Listen, we grasping at straws. Real.
Yes, they won the Super Bowl because of the Legion of Boom. That's right.
Real. Talk to the people, man. What are your thoughts? I mean, if the Lions are continuing to use Swift and they're going to target Hockenson more, do we really need Kenny Golladay?
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm going last, so I got everybody's opinion, and I think everybody's opinion. I think J-Mo, you make really good points, and obviously Golladay is that dude. I love Golladay,
for sure.
I wish we can keep him. I wish this wasn't a hard cap league, but I always bring it back to money, and because it's a hard cap league, and like Rachel just eloquently stated, our defense is where the money is needed, and $100 million to Golladay, it just doesn't cut it. And when you have drafted a guy like Hockenson, and he's performed the way he does, why not target him more?
So are you going to pay Swift or Hockenson $100 million, or are we letting them go too?
No, you don't have to worry about Swift for a long time.
They don't get paid that much.
You don't get paid that much money. You don't get by in this league without.
They don't get paid that much money. And I definitely wouldn't pay Swift the money. I would definitely, out of the two, I'd pick Hockenson for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, but Hawkinson's not going to make $100 million.
Hold on. Wait. Let's stop.
Hawkinson's not going to cost $100 million. That's a problem. That's why Jimmy Graham wanted to be designated as a receiver, because he wanted more money, because he was getting more tight ends than most receivers. But he was a tight end, so he got tight end money. That's what we're going to give Hockenson. We're not going to give him $100 million.
Exactly. And the reality of it is this. We've already done this $100 million receiver thing. We wasn't getting too many wins with that approach. We wasn't. Everybody was talking about Stafford contract. The contract that was killing us was Calvin Johnson's. And when Calvin retired, it was a blessing in disguise, a prayer and an answer from God himself. And you couldn't do nothing but be excited if you understood what getting that contract off the books meant. At the end of the day, $100 million receivers ain't getting you nowhere like that. A collective receiving group is more. We need a defense. That's just no way of arguing around that. And that's my man Haters House say, we can draft another good receiver. I'm just putting it out there, people. Now, let me go ahead and spear line this. Even my son getting excited about this reality. Let's talk about Mr. Everson Griffin. Now, this is interesting because there was a post by the Detroit Lions PR that brought up an interesting history fact, and I was 100% disgusted by it. And I even went into my Discord and talked about it. And when I went into Discord and talked about it, JGB and a host of other people basically said to me that, hey, this is a good thing, blah, 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 blah. And I said, here's my problem. I said, why post this when the reality says that this is not really a good thing? So it brings me to my point. And I saw it today early on with people hitting me up saying, Luke, Everson Griffin balled out. I'm calling BS on that. But here's my question. And we starting this one off with you, J-Mo. What are your thoughts on Everson Griffin at the two games?
Especially after that last game, I think he's been solid. I think the first game he was in his head too much. This man was talking smack like the Mike Zimmer was talking about his mama or something. So clearly he was in his head. But the moment he wasn't playing them, he created a lot of pressure, and he got to the quarterback. So he made a couple plays. So he definitely looked good out there.
Okay. What are your thoughts on that, Real? What are your thoughts on Everson Griffin at the 2 games?
Yeah, no, I think that I know where you're going with this because you're a hater. But you're just dancing around it, you know what I mean? But I think he did a great job. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think he did create pressure. Like J-Mo said, he made a couple plays. You know, I liked what I saw. And for a 6th round pick, you know, like who did we even draft in the 6th round this year? Like, I don't think it's that big of a deal that we.
I believe we. I thought it was Pennicini or
I think it's Cornell.
Cornell. I thought it was one of them D tackles. I felt like I'm drawing a blank.
I think Cornell was 7th round, but
I'm just saying I'm okay with spending these 7th round, 6th round picks on guys like Snacks in the past and guys like Everson Griffin. Look, Snacks didn't pay out in the long term, but in that 2018 season, it was looking like an amazing deal. You know what I mean? So if we can get a year out of Everson Griffin for a 6th round pick and he's performing like he did this game, I'm going to be happy with it.
Okay. Oh, listen. Okay. Yeah. I say I'm a hater. We're going to see how much of a hater I am in a minute. Andrew, what are your thoughts on Everson Griffin at the 2 games?
Bro. I mean, I'm 100% with Real on this one. All right. You invested literally the bare minimum to get someone that's going to impact your team. The whole point of bringing people in is that they're going to get playing time and you want them to be productive. This man threw Jamie Collins' silly ass to the ground to lay a hit on Alex Smith. All right. That's how determined he is to get pressure, to hit the quarterback, to disrupt the game. Okay. He had 5 pressures. He had a sack. The guy was all over the place. Okay. I know you're going to say, well, he looked a little slow, blah, blah, blah. Bro, I don't care if you're slow, if you're still doing your job. Okay. You know, like Hines Ward was freaking slow. He still did his job. Okay. So you invested the bare minimum in money, in draft capital, and you got someone that's going to be productive. Okay. When have we had 2 DNs that are going to get pressure? Okay. Alex Smith didn't look that comfortable in the pocket when we're actually scheming correctly, you know, so I'm happy with it. Shit. I mean, this guy can be a big playmaker and it's only his 2nd game. You know, you don't just go to a new team and ball out from day one. You know, even Khalil Mack, he got traded. He had a whole off season to get ready. This man came into our team and got plugged in, and it only took him 1 game to start cooking. Okay, so I'm excited to see where he can, you know, end up by the end of the season.
JGB, I know you listening. I told you this was gonna happen. I told you this was going to happen. Okay, Miss Queen, what are your thoughts on Everson Griffin after 2 games?
I think the first game, you know, was kind of lackluster, but I didn't really expect too much from it, being that it was his very first game here. The second game, I saw what I feel like is more of his natural playing style kind of coming out, reaching a little bit of a comfortability. There was a couple of plays where I looked at him and I was like, okay, he's angry. And he was getting pressure for sure. You know, of course, a lot of people in the chat right now, and probably you, Luke, are going to say, oh, it sucks to talk about 5 quarterback hits being him having tied our franchise record in 1 game with those 5 quarterback hits. But I mean, that's not to say that he's not doing a good job. It's just to say we haven't really had a lot of people putting that much pressure on in franchise history. And I think more pressure that we see from him, and obviously Romeo Okwara, I mean, he's been balling out whenever we can get Trey Flowers back, is 100,000% going to be better than what we had without him. So I literally will not be mad at improvement, no matter how small it may be. If it's improvement, it was necessary.
Rachel, don't make me feel bad about what I'm about to say, okay? Don't give me the increment improvement thing. Don't do that. But I'm going to say it. Starting off with buffed up. Mediocrity celebrated on the Lions. Yep, that's exactly what this is. Let's go to the next comment. He had a few good moments and a few bad in this last game. He wasn't amazing. Yep, that's exactly what this is. We are out here tossing it up and turning it up simply because a man.
Whoa. who's tossing anything up? You asked the damn question, and we just answered the question.
Listen.
Nobody's turning up like, I can't believe we got EG up in the building. What are you talking about, man?
But they did. If you go back and you look at when the trade happened, hold on, wait, y'all. Listen, I didn't say nothing when y'all was talking. I didn't say nothing when y'all was talking because I was gonna get this out. When he first came here, all people kept saying is, we about to be this, we about to be that. He finna come do this, he finna come do that. And I was like, this is a dumb trade. It's a waste of draft capital. We need all the capital we can get. I don't want the next guy coming in here looking and saying, I got 5 picks. What are they? Yeah, I'm gonna go on over here to the Jets who got like 100 picks or whatever. So here's what I'm looking at. Okay, here's what I'm looking at. I am looking at a player who, by the Lions PR, is being celebrated for having 5 quarterback hits. I went back and looked at each one of them quarterback hits. That ball was already gone. I said to myself, okay, so he got some quarterback hits. The ball was already delivered. The play was completed. He had no impact on the game. He got his 1 sack, great. But the person who stood out was who Rachel pointed out, which was Romeo Okwara. And to me, I'm just saying that at the end of the day, for a 6th-round pick, the jury is still out. We got 7 more games to see him, y'all, because he's not getting re-signed. Awesome. So my thing is this. When I watched him at the first game, I was like, you're getting blocked by Riley Reef. I had to go back and find the footage because I know I wasn't tripping. He was killing Riley Reef. Not this time on the Lions. Riley Reef goes over to the Vikings, and this guy over to us, and Riley Reef and everybody else is locking him down. And to me, at the 2 games, I am very underwhelmed by what I'm seeing. And it's looking like it's going to be a waste. Now, what does that mean to me? That means that he still got something against to show us something. But for a team that that I'm not expecting to do nothing, I don't think it's going to be in the playoffs. Why are we wasting draft capital? So to me, at the 2 games, I think Everson Griffin has been underwhelming in my opinion. Now, if y'all want to get on my head, feel free. Go one at a time, however you want to do it. I'm all ears.
I just want to say, and this isn't even coming at you, I just figured that you would like the kind of like hunger that I see. I literally 20 minutes ago retweeted something Justin Rogers posted where Everson Griffin wanted to get to Alex Smith so bad, and he gets there right as the ball is being let out in this quarterback hit, that he literally bowls over. I can't tell who. Oh,
that was Collins.
I thought it looks like 59. Isn't that Christian Jones?
No, I think that's Ragland. But I could have sworn it was Jamie Collins. But that's what I was talking about too.
He literally bowls over somebody else. He wants it so bad. I like that. I like that mentality. I'm like, go for it then. If that's how hungry you are, that's what I like to see.
All right, look, I'm gonna come at you. Hold up. So I have multi questions here.
Wait, wait. Then let me just add this real quick. Then you can do your multi questions. Because you're saying like QB hits, they don't really matter unless they.
No. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the stat is a joke because if you go back and you watch each one of them, the ball was already delivered, and he could have easily have been flagged for late hits.
I understand that. But there is some value in putting Alex Smith on his ass a few times. You know what I mean?
Agree.
To get him a little flustered.
I can't wait to do that to Aaron Rodgers.
I think it's not that bad of a stat. Is all I'm saying. Go ahead.
But my issue was many of those came with Alex Smith leaving the pocket, and the pocket is what I'm looking at. He wasn't. You know what? I'll just do a film study. That way I can show you better than I can tell you. Because when you see it, it's like, yo, he's not directly impacting or shifting. He had like a few plays where he blew through, but even when he blew through, it looked like it was taking forever for him to get home. And then the ball was delivered for a catch. And I'm like, come on, bro, you gotta it's not the same player. It's just not. And I'm just saying we it's almost like
we got him for so cheap, and he's even on a cheap deal right now. So it's not like we're paying him like a top tier player or anything like that. Like, or we didn't give up some capital that's going to cripple our team. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really just not that big of a deal. Very minimal risk, and we're getting an outcome out of him. Even though you're saying like it could be a little better outcome, I agree with you. Like, I wish he was freaking Everson Griffin from like 2017 or something, and we were just killing it. But that's not the case, you know.
Well, I just wonder is this: if let's say he goes out there, and I hope he does. Let's say he goes out there and he balls out of outrageous. Are y'all gonna be upset if he not re-signed?
It depends how much money he's asking.
That's 100% what I was gonna say.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. So Andrew wants to get at me. Go ahead, Andrew. I'm giving everybody their free shot. I got my gripe off on the table. Go ahead, Andrew.
Yo, first off, man, how much do you value a 6th-round pick?
A whole lot, especially when I'm down to 5 picks and we are going to be in a battle for a head coach. So to me, as a head coach comes in, he wants to come into a situation that gives him the best chance to do what he wants to do. If I'm sitting up there looking at the Lions and my choice is between the Lions and the Jets, I'm taking the Jets because the Jets is probably going to have a better draft position and they got like 2 or 3 first-round picks for the next 2 or 3 years. So already we're eliminated from that battle. If I'm looking at this team and I'm comparing them to, say, the Falcons.
So you taking Sam Darnold over this team?
Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. If I go to the Lions or the Jets, I'm going to the Lions. I'm probably moving Stafford for a haul. What are you talking about? Listen, I'm saying. He said I'm going to the Jets because they got picks. Listen, what you are. Can I talk for a minute? Give me a minute. Listen, hear me out, okay? What I'm saying is this. You're saying you're taking Sam Darnold over there. I'm telling you that they're probably going to be in the top 5 of the draft, which means they're going to get one of those 2 quarterbacks. They're going to get a Lawrence. They're going to get a Fields, maybe a Trey Lance, or maybe even a Wilson. They're going to get one of those quarterbacks, right? But on top of that, they got 2 other firsts, 2 seconds, and a host of other picks. And to me, if you're a coach, yes, as a coach coming in and I got an option to take over a team with that kind of draft capital, I already got a quarterback on roster. I already got pieces around them that I can work with. Yes, I'm taking that job over the Lions. Yes. That team has no talent. You'll be filling one of the 12 holes with those picks.
Right. You are severely underestimating the fact that we have talent on our team. The Jets we also have a history that coaches come here and never become head coaches again. So you got to
what's the history with the Jets are the Jets. Like we ain't talking about
but people have left the Jets and got another head coaching job. Who left us and got a head coaching job in the modern era?
Hey, we're not even talking about the head coach here, all right? I don't know how we got this topic.
Because listen, we got off track because my whole point was just saying that, yes, you asked me the question about, do I really care about that 6th-round pick? And I said yes, because we now only have 5 picks, and I care about draft capital because I am looking towards the future. That's what I'm looking at.
All right, so
I am looking towards the future.
Let me get to these next couple questions. So what 6th-round pick are you expecting to come in and perform better than an Everson Griffin at this stage in his career? Can you even name me one player that was drafted in the 6th round that is performing well?
A lot of players have been drafted in the 6th round that have been performing well. Tom Brady is performing well. Who else you want?
Okay, but I'm talking about just the percentage of chance of that player actually being a good player.
But the percentage is skewed. No, it's skewed. I'm going to tell you why it's skewed. It's skewed because most people in the NFL follow these stupid trends, and instead of them putting the best player on the field, they go, well, I took them in the 6th. I'm going to go with my 1st and 2nd. I got to make them count. When the truth is those people are probably better. I mean, you go through, you just look at some of the picks that the Patriots have picked up, those late round picks. They've panned out. They've had a few of them. There's been late round picks on Seattle that has panned out. The problem that I'm just looking at is this. We're coming up on a year where more than likely we're getting a new GM and a new head coach. And so now we're going to be in a market with other teams for a new head coach and a new GM. And so to me, draft capital is part of it. Personnel is one part, draft capital is another. That's all I'm saying.
All right, that's fine, but you also do realize that we had 2 5th-round picks this year, and we got rid of one before the season started. So
yeah, but that right there was a strategic move that backfired on them. What they plan was this: they was trying to hire him on the practice squad, and they were going to try to protect him, but the Eagles came through and said, we're going to add you to the roster. And his agent was like, well, we're going over there. We're not standing on no practice squad when we got a roster spot. And that's why we lost that 5th-round pick. They did the same thing in a few previous years where they put people on the practice squad. Nobody touched them outside of Brad Collier. They snatched him up in a heartbeat too. So certain people have been stolen from us. We had what's the receiver that everybody loved that's over in Atlanta? Prowl. We had him. Another player that people love, and we tried to have him on the practice squad, and he got snatched up. It happens. It's just a part of the game. That's all I'm pointing out there.
All right, so the next part is the financial aspect of it. His base salary is $3 million with the potential to hit 6. So if he's performing well, yeah, he's going to hit 6. But why are you mad that we are investing basically $3 million into a player that is actually producing?
Because that $3 million that you invested now brought your cap down to $14 million, and you still got to sign Kenny Galladay, who J-Mo and a lot of us want signed.
Okay. I mean, honestly, dude, when I look at it, $3 million is nothing. We invested $6 million in Danny Amendola. We invested $12 million in Chase Daniel.
Danny Amendola.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can get mad at the Danny Amendola thing, you can't get mad at spending half the money on a player that's producing. Danny Amendola has done a lot of boneheaded ass shit for our team. This man is freaking fair catching punts within the 10-yard line. Within the 10 freaking yard line. Bro, please let it bounce. Okay, I don't care if it goes to the 1 once in a great while. Let it bounce. Let me see if there's touchback. He's costing us drives that are 2-minute drives because he's staying in bounds. Like, no, we invested $6 million in that, but you're investing $3 million in a 6th-round pick and a player that in his second game did hit the quarterback, did get a sack. I don't care if the hits are late. A hit is a hit because you know what that does? It rattles a quarterback. Every time he has to get up from that. Okay?
I feel you.
Pressures are important. Hits also, if you're getting a quarterback hit, that means you had a pressure. Okay, you have to be in the quarterback's vicinity. And if you're not, you're drawing a flag because that would be a late hit on a quarterback. So
listen,
there's some discrepancy there that I don't know what you're missing.
Listen, I can't explain it, so I'll show it. And then when I show it, y'all will see it. And when you see it, you can still lie about it, but it's the reality. And the truth is, if we talk about 1 sack, Ramil Kaur had 1 sack too, and his was actually beating a 1-on-1. Just saying.
But who said, why are we picking Okwara over Everson Griffin? Who's saying that? Like, great. I'm glad that they both got that.
Listen, I'm just making a statement. Listen, we're going to move it along. I'm going to give y'all a chance to kill me later. But listen, y'all know I make a lot of statements. People think they crazy until it happens. And then they go, oh, okay. So let me go to this next one because I think this is a very good one. And it lines up with what we're talking about in terms of this draft capital and what you're spending for players and what you're getting. After the Lions win, do you feel like the Lions have a chance to make the playoffs? Right out the gate. Start off with you, Real.
No, I really don't because we haven't beaten any of our divisional opponents and Washington is just not a good team in general. So like winning to them doesn't really instill that much confidence that we could beat good teams. So no.
5 QB hits though, man. We moving on up in the east side. Andrew. Andrew. I mean, obviously Lions get that win. Do you feel like the Lions still have a chance to make the playoffs?
I mean, we're not eliminated yet, so obviously there's a chance. I don't think so, just because to get into the playoffs, we basically are going to have to win out because the 3 teams that are in the wild card have records of 7-3, 6-3, and 6-3. And we already have 5 losses. So it's not going to be, an easy route into the playoffs.
It's funny you bring that up because it's not only do they have a different record, most of those teams ahead of us own the tiebreakers. Ouch. How that's going to work out. Awesome. What say you, Rachel? Do you feel like the Lions have a chance to make the playoffs after the win on Sunday?
Yeah, I'm with everybody else. Unfortunately, they just have to beat a lot of better teams down the stretch. And right now, they're not showing us that they're capable of doing that. So, I mean, if we had a few more believable wins under our belt, like then maybe, but I'm not even really letting my mind go there right now. Do I still want to win these games, as many as we can? Yes. Do I believe that this team makes the playoffs? At this moment, no.
Okay. Okay. J-Mo, J-Mo, do you think the Lions have a chance to make the playoffs after this win that we had on Sunday?
Yeah, I can't really say things like my team have a chance to make the playoffs when we sub 500. In the division that we haven't won a single game. Do you know we better against the entire NFL than we are against our own division? We're either 1-1 against that division or 2-0 against the NFC North. We're 0-3. So I can't say a team who hasn't won a divisional game and who's 4-5 is gonna, make the playoffs. Not after a win against Washington. Of course not. I'm not saying things like that. What I'm saying is fire Matt Patricia. That's what I'm saying.
This is what blows my mind, people. This is okay. I'm looking at the chat. Everybody like, nope. My people and my family, nope. Yet y'all is hyped about trading a 6th-round pick for a player that we're not going to retain, and we're not making the playoffs. So what's the trade for?
Well, if we traded for him and then beat the Vikings, it'd be a different story.
It definitely. If we had won the last 2 games, then I think, maybe some of the answers were different.
I mean, but if Bruce Banner don't get mad, he's not the Incredible Hulk. Who cares?
We're saying during that time we were excited because we didn't know if we could beat the Vikings or not. Now, it is what it is. We have Everson Griffin. Do you like the deal or not?
I think they made the trade also kind of obviously the week before going in to play the Colts, and I think their mindset was realistically, and obviously seeing the Colts develop even since our game, I think they're a much better team than we gave them credit for in that post or pre-show. But at the time, I think they thought we had a realistic chance to take the Colts, Vikings, and Washington game, and that's where their mindset was. But they were going to put the effort into it because at that point, they were coming off of a win and thinking, now's the time. And you do it now, or you have nothing, or you don't even have the guy with the 5 quarterback hits.
I feel like the fact that Trey Flowers got put on IR, this was at least a good move just to get snaps, because we already don't have a pass rush, but with Trey Flowers on IR, we still have Okora, but we don't have anyone else. So it's not just a one type of thing, linear move.
Well, listen, I totally get it. My point is supported by the fact that y'all don't believe we're going to the playoffs. I didn't believe we was going to the playoffs. Why are we giving up draft capital? Just saying. But anyway,
we all agree with that now. Now that we've seen that we lost 2 games, everybody agrees with that. Like nobody's saying that that's not true. Everybody agrees with that.
I don't agree with that. Dude, I will never get mad for giving up a 6th-round pick and $3 million. I literally
but now that you know the future, you see it already didn't pan out, so now it's useless. So that's what Luke's saying. Yeah,
right.
If we could go back in time in some time machine.
Where's the time machine? Why hasn't somebody created it yet?
Yeah.
Listen, this is a serious question because I saw this up in the chat earlier, and it was already on our list for questions. How concerned are you about Matthew Stafford's latest injury? The word is he has a torn ligament in his throwing hand. So starting this off with you, J-Mo. What are your thoughts? How concerned are you about this latest injury?
With Stafford's previous 2 injuries, I ain't gonna lie, man, I was shook because when I saw the injuries, they look bad, and I know he came in and playing well, and people were saying adrenaline and things, but I don't want to hear that because according to what I remember, his last 2 injuries when he started throwing passes, he wasn't throwing the ball well in that same game, so. Because I remember that Bears game. This man ran for a touchdown. That's how you know his hand wasn't doing well. But in this game, he was still throwing dimes out there. And I'm just listening to what Stafford is saying about it. And I know he's had hand injuries. And the way that he's reacting to it, I feel a little bit better. I obviously can't really have any serious thoughts until I see him play on Sunday. But the way that he's acting about it, I think they can just tape it up and he can still be able to throw the football.
Okay.
Very well.
Andrew, what are your thoughts? I mean, how concerned are you with the latest injury of Stafford? You know, the torn ligament and the throwing hand.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, it's nice to see Stafford not worry about it, but at the same time, I know how important a thumb is for a quarterback. Okay, that's one of the two most important fingers on his throwing hand. Okay,
Good point.
So for me, I'm very concerned because the exact same crap happened when we were about to potentially win the division a couple of years ago, and we lost all 3 games. You know, his thumb was messed up. He couldn't throw the ball. We saw he could not throw the ball those couple games, and that injury could be worse. It could be about the same. But for me, I'm looking at it and I'm just like, man, this is not good because it's not a complete tear. It's a partial tear, which means it's going to be nagging. It's going to be annoying. So unless somehow, some way the wrap actually helps him, it's going to have his throwing power, everything off. Everything's going to be off, and that's going to mess with chemistry in the offense. So I'm concerned about it.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
let me answer this question really quick. Then we get back to the Stafford one. What if we get a new head coach and EG wants to stay and EG wants to be here? Then the 6th round pick makes sense because you're keeping them for the future. But for me, if you're not keeping them for the future, you're not keeping them to get to a playoffs. As Crimson Shadow said, you're only keeping them to try to save your job and appease fan base, and that to me is not what I want to see. Real, what are your thoughts? I mean, like, how are you feeling? Are you concerned with Stafford's latest injury to his throwing hand?
Well, just to reiterate, like, they got EG with the intention for a playoff push, and then they didn't get that. So when they traded for him, there was the intention for a playoff push this year. So I'm just gonna say that because
no, that's fair. Yeah. That's fair. But you actually had to believe that they had a chance. That's the problem. I never believed that they had a chance, given where their position was when the trade was happening. They was already at like 11 when the trade happened. And that's even if they added an extra team with 18 making it to the playoff, we were still at 11. Now you got to go through tiebreakers, and we still weren't going to do much. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. I do. Okay, so, but with Stafford, yes, I'm definitely concerned. Anytime, you know, your quarterback's throwing hand is, I don't care if he has a splinter, I'm concerned. You know what I mean? I'm really concerned. And like, yeah, it could tear more, or it could be nagging, like Andrew said, or, you know, it could just, yeah, he could re-aggravate it by playing through it. So of course I'm concerned.
Okay. Rachel, you know, are you concerned with Stafford's latest injury?
I'm somewhere in the middle. You know, I think kind of just like Real said, the major concern is that he injures it further. That would be my biggest concern. But I mean, on the back end, Stafford is one of the toughest quarterbacks, honestly, to ever do it. And if he doesn't injure his hand further, I guess my second concern is the accuracy, but I still think he wants to be out there so badly. There's a chance that we don't really see it affecting him. So I'm definitely somewhere in the middle with that. I did see somebody mention this in the chat, and I saw some people talking about it on Twitter today too, like, you know, the Stafford injury potentially being another excuse for Matt Patricia to keep his job. But I just think with COVID and injuries this season, it's something that all teams have had to deal with. And I don't think that will be an excuse for them to stick around by any means. I just wanted to throw that in there too.
Yeah, I think their goose is cooked. Or in this case, their turkey. So it's coming up, so get ready for it.
I got a question for y'all. Have any of you had ligament damage before?
I have, and I was just going to say that.
I want to add something. So like I've had ligament damage to my knee, and it's not about pain. It's about the physiology of it, and it's the ability to use that area. So like, you never know when it's going to give out. You never know when it's going to just pull on it or something like that. And so for a quarterback, you know, if you don't know when your thumb's going to get out, you could fumble the ball. You could throw awful passes. You know, so it's not, I know a lot of people, you know, they think injury, they think pain, but I'm thinking of it purely from an anatomical standpoint, and it's not necessarily going to be the pain. Like he is tough as shit. I mean, Stafford is a baller, you know, he's as tough as any of them go, but it's his ability to use his thumb, you know, that I'm thinking about, because when I had my knee injury and I literally messed up all the ligaments in my knee, I would walk fine. Then all of a sudden my knee would completely buckle and I felt like I'd fall to the floor, you know, and it was nothing. I didn't feel it coming. It just kind of happened, you know? So when I think of his thumb, I'm thinking of the same thing. Like, he's not going to really feel it happen or anything like that. It's just something that can go wrong.
Didn't he have a similar injury in 2011, though, where it was ligament damage in his hand, and he recovered from it? That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I mean, he did recover, but we also have to look back at the time where we made it to the playoffs, and I believe that's what you're talking about, and they had him throw the ball 45 times. This team will still have a guy with a ligament tore in his thumb, which is the thing that's used for grip is your thumb. And if that thing, like he's pointing out, decide to do it, like have any type of aggravation or whatever, it's a problem. And one of the problems that you can see is you might see him fumbling the ball more. You might see him not, being able to get enough velocity on the ball because he can't really grip it the way he wants to. And then on top of that, you got to keep it into a perspective where you got to understand the body is like a beautiful car. Everything needs to work in unison, or it's going to be a hot mess in a few days or two. And so to me, ligaments and stuff like that are serious injury. That's why they taped it. And if you go back and pay attention, they didn't have him throw the ball down the field as much. They did a lot of short shots, and then they ran the ball. So it could be a good thing for Swift in that regard, but I'm very concerned with this injury because at this point, they're adding up, and it makes me wonder if Stafford's going to look at this and be like, I'm over it. I mean, Andrew Luck, of all people, said he was over it. So I'm just saying. So obviously the Lions is coming up on some crucial time. So we got another 4 games coming up. Those 4 games are against the Panthers, the Texans, the Bears, and who am I forgetting that quick? Jesus.
The Packers.
Packers. Thank you. So my question to you, starting off with you, Andrew, give me the Lions record in the next 4 games.
I'd say 2-3, only because, I mean, the Panthers, you don't know if McCaffrey or Teddy Bridgewater are going to play. And then the Texans are god-awful this year. I know they still have, Will Fuller and Deshaun Watson, whatever, but it looks like they're playing to lose, honestly. So that leaves us with the Bears, who are going down really quickly. Their quarterback just got carted off the field, which they said, thankfully he's not seriously hurt. And then the Packers. So we could win about 2 to 3 games in that stretch.
Okay. Aaron Burton says, "Are we drafting a quarterback this year?" Yes.
Please, God, no.
I'm under the belief that we are. So let's go to you, J Mo. Give me the Lions record down this 4-game stretch. We got the Panthers, Texans, Bears, then Packers.
Yeah, man, I can't give you no record, man. I don't predict games anymore. So I'm going week by week, man. I'm going week because
J-Bo said he's not gonna play no more.
Week by week. I've been saying that I've been consistent with that because we can lose to the Panthers and then we will think 0-4, then we can beat the Panthers and then we'll think 2-2. But I don't know about anything. I'm just gonna watch each and every game. Because that's just what I've been saying. I can't get I remember how we said this at the end of the Lions game. I don't understand this team. You can't get a beat on when they're going to be good and when they're going to be bad. Like, we could easily lose to Houston and lose to Carolina and then beat Chicago and Green Bay. And that's why I'm not predicting anything, man.
Okay, listen, I can't kill you on that. I think that your predictions have not been as strong as because of what happened on this day. So I know that this is a reoccurring thing for you, and I don't blame you.
My predictions looking real good in that pick'em league. So.
Oh, you killing? Listen. I haven't had time.
No football games because
I haven't said nothing about that pick'em league because I haven't had time to make a video. But you have been killing them in that pick'em league. So I give you a props on that.
I was wrong about one college football game that was a rivalry. Come on, I remember I said we was gonna beat Ohio State before. Come on,
J-Mo, I love you, man. I'm not. Norman says I'm Patty.
He is, man. When you dropping 0, dog, you get real bitter. Only thing you can think about is when you won again.
He said you Patty. I'm just saying. Listen, just food for thought. Rachel, what is your Lions record for the next 4 games?
Honestly, I'm with J-Mo on this one. Like, just listening to him answer, I was like, I totally understand what Andrew said, and I agree with him on that 2 to 3 games. But the thing is, I wouldn't be surprised if we lost them all. I wouldn't be surprised. I would be surprised if we won them all. I take that back. I don't know why I was saying that, but I wouldn't be surprised if we won 3. I wouldn't be surprised if we won 1. I can't even tell you, the teams I think we would beat. If I say, hey, without Christian McCaffrey and Teddy Bridgewater, we're going to beat Carolina. We're going to lose to Carolina by a touchdown. And I'm going to be like, nothing makes any sense. So I hate trying to think about making sense of things. And then somehow we go in and upset the Packers. And I'm like, what is life? Like, I don't understand. I don't know why they beat the teams they beat. I don't know why they lose to the teams that they lose to. So I'm 100% with JMO on that. I really want to win the Thanksgiving game because we haven't gotten to eat turkey after a win in a couple of years now, and it always tastes a little bit better. And I really want to win that Bears game because Allen Robinson couldn't get me 4 more damn points last night. I was 8-1 in my fantasy league. I literally lost my second game because I couldn't get 4 more points from Allen Robinson in an entire half. I was absolutely livid. I want to beat the Bears so bad.
Yeah, like this is the same team that beat the Arizona Cardinals. Like, and that still has Lions fans wondering how that even happened. So it
took a horrible performance.
I don't care what it took. We won the game. How?
Yeah, but again, barely. As what you say,
hey, it don't matter, man. Hey, it don't matter what it took. I mean, Chicago barely beat us. It took a swift drop pass for them to win that game.
All I'm pointing out is just some just some things. That's all I'm saying. I'm just gonna point some things out. Here's my thing. I think we lose to the Panthers. I pray to God that we win Thanksgiving, but I think that short week is gonna kill us. I would almost take, like, to me, if we win that Thanksgiving game, I don't even care if they lost to the Panthers. I don't care that they barely beat some team. Just give me that Thanksgiving day. I'm so sick of this. Just give me one win on Thanksgiving so I can eat my food and not have somebody call up and be like, I had to watch a bad game because of your Lions. I don't want to hear it. So give me one. Give me that one win. And it's against a team you probably should beat. So just do it for me. But I think, unfortunately, that short week's going to have them take an L there. I think they beat the Bears, and I think they drop to the Packers. I think they go 1-3 in the next 4 games. That's my prediction for the next 4 games. But I just need that one win. Give me that one win for the Texans, and I don't care what you do the next 4. You weren't doing nothing no way, but give me that happiness. Sort of like how I knew our season was going to be rough for Michigan State, but I knew we was beating Michigan. Just give me my joy. Give me my joy. So we getting close, people. Let's see. We really got, I don't know if I should even ask this question because this is going to be kind of a sore spot, but we just going to make it fast. Do you think the Lions can get above 500 this season? Let's start off with you, Rachel.
My opinion on that has definitely changed since the start of the season. I think it is unlikely but possible that we could go 8-8, but I'm almost positive we couldn't go 9-7.
Okay. Shout out to my man Gregory out here, man. This is one of my guys, man. I've been rocking with him for a long time. We have been in Madden leagues and having all kinds of fun together. So he says, from DC, you are welcome for the victory last Sunday. Shaking my damn head. He is.
I read that as stuck my dick, though.
Andrew, when has anybody ever used that abbreviation for that?
Never.
I do daily.
Andrew been sending out some angry text, man. He was sending out some angry text, man.
Bro, I mean, I'm not shaking my head after that. I'll be like, yo,
so listen, Andrew decided to go with that colorful breakdown. Andrew, do you think the Lions get above 500 this season?
Look, the first 2 games are going to dictate it, all right? The Panthers and the Texans should be an easy walkthrough, but I already know we're going to lose one or potentially both because that's the type of shit that we do. I feel like we'll be around that 8-8. I agree with Rachel. I don't see us being above 500, but I can definitely see us being around 8-8.
Listen, shout out to Quincy Bell Sports, man. I'm bringing you back on here for that Bears game. He says, who would have thought the Bears would be in a worse boat than the Lions? We are about to have Tyler Bray starting at quarterback. Yeah, it's going to be a long season for y'all, man. Y'all made a lot of investments trading up to get Mitchell, even though he's a killer of the Lions. You made another investment on getting Foles. So I'm picking up what you're putting down. Real. Would the Lions get above 500 this season?
Absolutely not. We're already not above. We're not even at 500 now, right? What are we at right now?
4 and 5.
4 and 5.
Yeah, we're not even at 500 now, and we're not even going to go 500 the rest of the way of our games because our last 4 games, Packers, Titans, Bucks, Vikings, we're probably going to lose those games. We've been a historically bad team in December. Like my birthday's in December, and I'm like, it's a bad time for me. I'm telling you, like, we are a bad team in December, so I got us losing all 4 of those games. So even if we win the Panthers, Texans, and Chicago, we won't even go 500 the rest of the way because I think we're losing the final 4 games, unfortunately.
All right. What say you, J-Mo? Would the Lions get above 500 this season?
If I'm not predicting games through 4 games, I ain't predicting 500. I'm just gonna watch this.
My bad. Good point.
Look, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say 8-8 is the only thing I can see. But I was with real. I talked to somebody. I'm like, best case scenario, we win these next 4 games. But what happens when we play the Titans and Tampa Bay and Green Bay? Like, it's just not gonna turn out well. And like, best case scenario, that we will be 8-8. We'll be winning these games, and then in December, it's not gonna look good. So, yeah.
Okay. I honestly do think they get above 500. I think it's a short above 500, and then we're back to reality. I think if there's a chance to do it, it would be with them beating the Panthers and beating the Texans. But if they don't beat one of those teams, then chalk it up. It was a wishful thinking. Last question.
I misunderstood the question then. My bad. I thought it meant ending in 500. My bad.
No, you're good. You're good. Last question, because this was given to me by a subscriber. I don't know why they keep hitting me with this one right here. And I think I'm going to get this question did my son just literally throw something at my PS4? Okay. My spirit just lost a little bit. I'm coming back, though. Okay. This is from a subscriber. Given all of the U of M struggles, should Jim Harbaugh still be considered for the Lions coaching job? Starting off with you, J-Mo.
1,000% yes. I'm not budging from this. I don't care. Well, I do care what he's doing in Michigan. That's why I hate him. But I don't care about what he's doing in college because his NFL record speaks for itself. I mean, he's been always competitive with those teams, and I know that he could come here and build our team and have a vision. If we have a guy like DeAndre Swift, you best believe he's gonna be running the football. You best believe we're gonna be using our tight ends. So and using our talent. And Jim Harbaugh as a name could have a lot of people more comfortable coming to the team because they probably thinking the same thing. I mean, yes, the Lions, but Jim Harbaugh ain't never lost in the NFL. I'm going with Jim Harbaugh for sure. Nomus is just thinking about Michigan, man. But it's all good. I'm taking Jim Harbaugh 100%, man. Make him the head coach and the GM and take it from there.
Wait, that man put at least 100 O's after that end. No! He wants no parts of this. Hey, I'm not mad at you. He wants no parts of this. That is, he tripping right there. Okay. What say you, Andrew? Should he still be considered a candidate? I mean, you see what's going on, and you see what's happening in Michigan. Should he still be a Lions candidate?
Yeah, I mean, him and Matt Patricia need to just trade jobs because Matt Patricia could coach college players, but he can't coach NFL players, and vice versa with Harbaugh. So I would love to have him. I mean, what he did with San Francisco was amazing. He literally took them from a no-name team basically and turned them into a Super Bowl contender and built up that defense like no other. They were like historically good in certain aspects of the game, especially in terms of the run game, So for me, when I'm looking at our division and I'm looking at Aaron Jones and Dalvin Cook and, the team's reversing, we need someone that's going to come in and just completely revamp the defense and make us a dominant front seven team. And Harbaugh does that, he believes in that. So that's what I want. I want a coach to come in with that mindset, and I know someone said Salah too, which, yeah, I mean, they should both be candidates because Salah has experienced what having 4 first-rounders on the D-line can do for your team. Even with all their injuries across the board, I'm pretty sure they're still at a winning record right now. I think they're like 5-4 or something,
No,
and
no. No, I'm just letting him know. I'm not saying it like that. I'm just letting him know.
He's like, no, they're not.
No, they 4-6.
All right, whatever. So even with all their injuries, they're 4-6. We have one less loss than them, and they had literally like 10 starters go down. So I would love to have someone like that come in, who understands that you need to put capital into the defense and bring that to the Lions.
Okay, Real. What are your thoughts? Do you think that he should still be a candidate, given what you've seen in this history, given what's going on this season? Should he still be a Lions head coach candidate?
Oh, absolutely. I'm 100% just like Jama on board with Jim Harbaugh. Bring him in, because I think if Sheila better be in talks with him right now. I don't know what she's doing if she's not, because I think the stars have aligned. You know what I mean? It's the perfect timing, because it's how many seasons now has he not been able to beat his rivals? So Michigan fans are getting frustrated. It's just the perfect time for him to make his own exit. Don't get kicked out, leave while you still have your job, and then become an NFL head coach again. And you know what? Like, he has a multi-million-dollar home in probably Ann Arbor. He doesn't want to sell that and move his family and all that. Just come on, man. I think it's perfect. It's
good point. Very good point. Rachel, should Jim Harbaugh still be a Lions coaching candidate?
Man, I guess at least if he came here and nothing changed, he'd be used to the losing. I don't know. But
wow. How you thought this was?
I'm sorry, I'm really bitter. I'm really bitter about Harbaugh right now. Like, I didn't even watch this past week's game. Like, my friend that's a Wisconsin fan was like, we're watching the game together today, and I said, absolutely not. I don't want to see them get destroyed, which, they didn't, like JMO said, I guess there are worse losses. But at the end of the day, I don't know. Like, I'm usually not as jaded, but I just feel like my dad in the chat, how dare you? But no, I'm usually not as jaded. I just feel like I see you guys' points as well. Like, I could see it working out. I'm just like, who do I want? I'm honestly just thinking, like, who do I want out more? Do I want Patricia gone more? Do I want Harbaugh gone more? Can they switch places? Will that work out? I mean, if it did, that would be, phenomenal.
But good, but I don't want Patricia anywhere near anything that I like. So
I'm just gonna roll with you guys. You guys, like, I feel like I'm too. I don't have a good opinion because I'm angry, and that I'm just gonna end it there.
Well. Okay, listen, I knew that was going to get some people going. I suspect I'm going to get that question again. But I'm just going to be 100% and piss off a few more people. And I'm going to say, no, he should not be considered a candidate here no more. And I'm going to tell you why. The first reason is the expectations from us as fans is going to be 10 times higher than it was as fans for Michigan. So if you come here and we know what you did in this league, with the 49ers, even though I believe he took over a team that was built and constructed by one Mr. Michael Singletary, I really believe that at this point, keeping him here does nothing. Because the very first sign of trouble that he has, this fan base of Michigan fans are already upset. They're going to give him hell. They're going to be booing the game for him calling timeouts. It's going to be like breaks in between the game, and he's going to be sitting there talking to people drinking water. They're going to boo him for that. Anything that comes up, I think that the tension would be too high for him. And
but if he comes here, we will be rebuilding. Why would we be expecting to win?
I'm going to tell you why. If you look at what happened with Michigan, right? If you look at what happened with Michigan, Michigan has a huge following here. If he comes to the Lions and he sucks, the Michigan fan base, which in my opinion is the most bougie group of people I've ever seen, they're going to come out.
I don't know about all that.
They're going to come out, and the first thing they're going to say is, well, I'm not shocked. He was losing up here in Ann Arbor. He just went on down to Ellen Park. Ain't no difference. It's going to be the whole thing.
Yeah, I'll be the one to tell him to shut up. He building a team. Idiot.
Right, but then,
I'll be consistent with all these men. Like, I'll be like, y'all some idiots. Shut up and sit down and keep watching.
But then watch what's gonna happen after that. He'll go out the first year, make it to the playoffs, win a playoff game, lose. Then the next year he'll come out and have a bad season. Oh yeah, We seen this show before. Yeah.
That's iffy, but
man,
Jim
Luke,
Harbaugh
what
never
is
had a losing season.
Listen,
this? Is a lot of foresight. You're looking
Listen,
2 seasons
right.
down
Yeah,
the road
like,
of the new
listen,
coach.
I'm not looking too far. What I'm saying is this: you have a fan base who's already disgusted with him, and if you keep him here, any sign of trouble with the Lions does not help him because it hurts him. When people come here, there's a stigma. There's a conversation that has been had with players about coming here. Now, people will want to come here for Jim Harbaugh, but depending on how he handles this team and gets them on the right track, it's not going to work. Jim Harbaugh, if he came here, would need 5 years to clean up this mess. And to me, he's not going to get that time. Therefore, don't bring him. Just saying.
I
disagree. Right?
Luke, if you're saying that the majority of the Lions' problems is coaching, why would it take Jim Harbaugh 5 damn years? We have cap space. We have talented players. Like, why the hell would it take? If he really wants to get a new quarterback, he has an out for Stafford's contract. Like, why would it take 5 years? And, who cares if the Lions fans are booing him if he's doing bad? You know what cures that? Winning. So if he comes here and starts winning, look, I'm not trying to wait 5 years for Harbaugh to do all this. Like for any coach.
You gotta give him 5 years, and I'm gonna tell you why. Everything that is here right now.
You're saying any coach, you gotta give him 5 years.
You can give him 5 years, but I don't think it's gonna take 5 years to be successful. Like,
I'm not saying that.
Front seven. We fix the front seven, we get a better coach, we'll be a much better football.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's gonna take 5 years, but what I'm saying is whoever comes in here to coach, they're gonna need 5 years because everything has been tailored for the New England Patriots way. And so they got to get all those players out, free up some of these caps. Like they may not want to keep a Trey Flowers. They may not want to work with a player like Trufant, which we got to out for. But I know it's a lot that goes on into doing it. I mean, just go back to the Matt Millen era.
It would really only be Justin Coleman and Trey Flowers. And I think we're already like a couple years into Justin Coleman's deal. So like,
what about Collins?
Jamie Collins, how many years did we sign him for?
I thought he had a 3-year deal. Maybe I'm tripping.
All right, fine.
And I also feel like we got
but there's an out in his contract too. There's an out
in the 3rd year.
So okay, but next year will be the 2nd year, and then you have an out after that. Like it only take 1 year to get rid of Collins. Like it's not that. Like we're not locked into these huge. It's not like when like Jim Caldwell came and like we're locked into Calvin Johnson's mega deal or something like that, or like Stafford and Sue and all these big deals. We don't have that here.
I just think that given the fact that right now this fan base, the Michigan fan base, who are Lions fans as well, they gonna let this man have it. I'm telling you.
No, I'm not.
That's fine.
No, I'm
let
not.
Him have it.
No,
let him. I don't care.
To do.
Okay, listen. If y'all believe that, I ain't mad at you. I'm just telling you that it needs to be somebody that comes in with an unknown expectation, but can get us to a certain promised land.
Man, they just gotta be good. They don't have to be somebody like.
No. Listen, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that, listen, if they go out and they sign the defensive coordinator from the 49ers, his expectations are not going to be the same as Jim Harbaugh's. They're not going to be close. Fans will be more. I will
feel the same way about him as Jim Harbaugh.
Man. Yeah, like I'm not giving him 5 years either if he's ass in like 2 years.
Okay, listen. If y'all feel that way, I agree. Now, at this point, people, this is y'all chance to ask questions. We're gonna do this quickly. I have a lot of stuff to do in the morning that I do not want to do, but I have to. So, any questions that you have, we're gonna talk about it. I saw a question earlier that says, should they move Kerryon Johnson to fullback? No. Because the moment you do that, you might as well, you're going to have to trade him. 2, he's not signing a contract with you as a fullback. 3, he could probably go to at least 4 or 5 teams off the top of my head I can think of and still be a productive running back. So, no, I don't think he goes to the running back position, and I don't think he should go to the fullback position. Just saying.
Just let you know, I hate the Lions. We misuse our players so much. They got this man want to go fullback. Like, like, oh my God.
Marcus Willis says Luke just want D'Antonio to coach. No, I don't. No, I don't. So let me just put that out there. So let's see. We got a question right here from Harry Zanders. Luke G, there are some Stafford haters, as you know, but majority of the fans love him. Do you like as a quarterback ever since we drafted him. Explain. Yes. The moment we drafted him, I was happy because the one thing I knew is we had Calvin, and I knew that Calvin can be told just run, and he can guarantee put it ahead of Calvin. He was probably one of the few quarterbacks that we could have got who could have outthrew Calvin Johnson. So yes, I was very excited about him. Let's see who else we got in here for questions. No matter who the coach is, fans are going to want to fire them after the first loss of the season. And listen, I'm just saying. The general review, is Sheila average as people think she is? Oh, this is a good one. Let's go with you. Rachel.
Savage.
Yes, bro. What are you?
My bad. Savage. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad. Yeah, I had to look at it again, man. I got eyes on a 1-year-old who's literally infatuated with my PS4, and I'm doing a show. So excuse me.
Her name is Sheila Corion. She pulled up to Matt Patricia house, dog. What you mean in the limo? Like, yo. And she told him again, yo, you lose to Washington. Yo, it's a wrap. I guarantee you, we lose to the Panthers. She gonna be like, yo, you lose on Thanksgiving. And watch we win. I'm telling you, she is not playing around.
Luke read it correctly the first time, bro.
Just threatened him into keeping his job.
Yeah, man, she pulled up on him like brisk 10 o'clock at night. Like, man, you better get out here in your robe and your flip flop. You better be like, I got something to say.
What say you, Rachel? Is Sheila as savage as people think she is?
I think we thought she was gonna be a little bit more savage, but honestly, to this extent, honestly, the last show that I was on, we talked about this, and we were talking about what she was waiting for, and I said a loss to the Jaguars, then they won, and then you said, oh, and if not, a loss to Atlanta, then they won, right? So those two chances where it was going to be like a loss to an easy, if she's waiting for a loss to an easy team, we haven't had one of those yet, so I feel like we don't really know how savage she is just yet, but I do like to think now I'm just picturing her, doing exactly what Damo said, and I'm like, that'd be pretty dope.
All of our wins have saved Matt Patricia's job. So if his job on the line, that means we gonna win. Literally every single win, literally saved his job.
She's like, you better not lose to this bad team.
Like you lose to the Cardinals and go 0-3. I don't care if they 2-0, y'all. And then all of a sudden we get 3 interceptions off of Kyler Murray. Like, bro, like.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I'm guessing
Luke gone, bro. What happened to Luke?
Gone, but I don't see any more questions. Ramon, I don't see any more questions. So
look, all I gotta say is the Sheila thing. Y'all are expecting too much from her, man. I went in on it beginning of the season. Before the season started, you all gave me shit. Sheila is going to be just like her freaking parents. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Martha,
bro, she should have already fired.
Martha ain't never pulled up on nobody, man.
Right.
What do you mean? Martha fired everybody. What do you mean?
No, who did she fire? She fired Lombardi, and that was it. Like
she
that
fired
was easy.
Caldwell and everybody.
She fired Caldwell. Yeah,
Bob Quinn made her fire him though. That wasn't something she wanted to do.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, plus, that don't make her a savage or a cutthroat though.
Let's be real though.
Sheila doesn't know shit yet.
She was 90-some years old. Bob Quinn should have been telling her what to do just to make sure. Just to make sure that everything, just in case.
I disagree with that because of the results. Bob Quinn shouldn't have been telling her. She should have been like, she should have let him love on Caldwell.
Somebody had to be telling her, though, because, realistically, and this is not to take anything away from her whatsoever. I think she is still kicking for sure. But, just to be safe.
Look, I don't care who told anyone what. You run the freaking team, bro. No one should be telling you crap. You should be able to be like, no, we're winning games. Let's keep it at that, whatever. But I don't even think that was Sheila that fired Caldwell. I'm pretty sure that was Martha.
No,
that's Martha. What we're saying. We're saying it was Martha. Oh. Martha fired Caldwell and Lombardi.
That you said it was her.
All right, my apologies. No. My son achieved this goal and pulled everything out of my entertainment center. And he's mad because he's on timeout right now. So here's my belief. I believe she is as savage as we think. Not only do I think she's a savage, if you just go through history, some of the worst crimes have been committed by women. And with that being said, I'm telling you that her savagery is going to come out. What's that old saying? Hell knows no fury like a woman scorned. You think she like losing? No, she's going to be a different beast. I think her patience is shorter, and I think that she is as savage as people think. So let me try to hit on a few more questions. Again, sorry for the little brief interruption. If Sheila was on her, do you think Caldwell would have won more games? No, I think he gave us what he's going to give us, to be honest. Let's see. Make sure I ain't missed nothing. If Sheila fires Patricia and Quin, do you think she will email, text, or Twitter? Or Twitter fire, or pull up to the driveway and peel out.
Man, she sent him a text with an emoji with his bags packed. Like, listen, like that's it.
I think Zoom call. We all know it.
I think she's gonna send him a gift of with somebody running like Mr. Bojangles or somebody or somebody running. That's what I think. That's how I see it. So look. We got the queen of all queens, mom in the bed. That's right, Luke. You don't mess with a Detroit. No, you don't. In Detroit, they will cut you. Okay, don't you play with her. Don't mess around. And they not wait for you to go to sleep neither. They gonna do it in your face.
That's factual.
Dude, when I was younger and like my dad used to want to like play fight, if I hit my mom, she would hit me back harder with her rings on every time because of her brothers and her family. And I was always like, Mom, we're joking.
Right, like
she's like, that's not how I was brought up.
Right. She was ready to go. Oh, we got a problem? Do we got a problem? Like that's how she came. Listen, people, we appreciate y'all all coming through. Hopefully you hit that like button and you enjoyed today's show. I know I certainly did. And I could not be more thankful for my family, my DSA family coming on and rocking with me, having some fun with me. We're going to do our final thoughts and get this thing out of here. Starting off with you, Miss Queen of the Den. Tell the people what your final thoughts is for the people.
Well, as always, thank you guys for being awesome in the chat. I think we had some good questions tonight, a little healthy debate. Just make sure that you're subscribed to all these awesome YouTube channels. I've been slacking on content, but I know some of these guys have been putting it out consistently. Make sure you subscribe to the feature channels that Luke has listed, and make sure you keep coming back and joining us Tuesdays, Thursdays. The guys do the shows Sunday before the game and after the game. I can't because I don't live in Michigan, so I have to go out to watch the games. But you know, one of these days, we'll see. And as always, one pride.
Absolutely. Let's go with you next, J-Mo. What do you have as the heart of the city? Because I know why he called heart of the city, right? He will check off on anybody that's not from the city. You don't even be from Michigan and say something crazy about Michigan. Just be the next door neighbor from Ohio and say something crazy, and he got problems. J-Mo, give me your final thoughts, man.
No, first off, I'm not gonna be upset with a win. We'll see what the Lions do this week, but I do want to say, man, it's the NBA draft tomorrow. Above the Rim will be on Detroit Drew channel at 8, so it's gonna be lit. It's gonna be crazy. Make sure you guys all stop by. And I do want to say I won't be surprised if we lose Sunday that he gets fired because we're 4-6. So y'all definitely stay tuned for that. But I do want to say pay Kenny Galladay. Stop disrespecting this man on every single show, every single week. Just being mad disrespectful to this man. But that's all I got to say, man. We'll see what happens on Sunday.
I knew he gonna say something about that Kenny Galladay being disrespectful. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. Just point out some obviouses. That's all.
I mean, y'all wasn't trying. You are being disrespectful. Kenny Galladay, like, all right, we're gonna see what I do on the Patriots, man.
Well, he already said it's gonna cost him, so we're gonna see. Andrew, what are your final thoughts for the people?
Yeah, man. I mean, just be happy with the win, guys. I mean, I saw way too much stuff on Twitter, this past week about only a Lions fan would be happy with winning. In this situation. And I'm just like thinking to myself, like, what the hell are you saying right now? Like, it's not the situation. Like, I'm happy my team won. Like, sorry, those couple draft spots, we might move back because we got to win, blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, just stop. It's a win. You have to be happy with the win. If you're not, then you're not a real fan. Go follow the freaking Steelers or something, And as far as the Galladay thing, because I got to touch this because me and Jay will keep going back and forth. It's not about Galladay, bro. It's about the Lions. I'm a Lions fan. I'm not an
that's why I
individual
think
player
it's
fan, bro.
you disrespecting Galladay, but you care about the Lions. See, nah, man.
Bro, it's about the overall team, baby. It's about the overall team, and it's
and
not
Galladay is the overall team, man. When you gonna realize that?
Bro, what?
Lions 1-3 without him, man. That's all I know, man.
I'm not
he got a down year. He done missed games. That's all I know.
I'm not saying that somebody was smoking something today. I'm just gonna leave it alone. Okay. Real man, give us your final thoughts.
Yeah, you're saying we might have to give Harbaugh or the next coach 5 years to rebuild. I'll tell you a guaranteed way to ensure that we have to have a 5-year rebuild. That's if we pay Kenny Galladay $100 million and lock up all that money. I'm just saying. All right, but hey, go Lions. It was a good win. Like I said, hey, we didn't talk about this enough though. The refs were shady as F at the end of that game. I hated those refs, but anyway, go Lions.
Shut up, Luke. I'm sick of you. Bro, the refs still play a part, bro. Like, I don't care if it's the situation or not.
Listen, I'm just going to point this out to you. There were some bad calls in that game that the Lions had with Jacksonville, and I didn't hear y'all talking about them bad calls. You know why? Because they didn't matter because we were so far up, it didn't make a difference. Just saying, food for thought.
Yeah, but they weren't even in the position for those calls to matter either because they were sucking.
I'm just gonna leave it alone. Leave it alone.
But they should have been put in that situation, bro. Like, what do you mean?
I'm just saying.
They should have been losing by double-digit points, bro. They should have been winning.
I'm just all I'm saying is with the Lions keep their foot on the gas, them calls don't make a difference. That's all I'm pointing out. But go ahead, Real. Go ahead. Final thoughts for you, sir. I don't want to interrupt.
No. It's always fun. This is a really fun show. I subscribe to everybody in the DSA. That's all.
Listen, good people. Again, cannot thank y'all enough for rocking with us. I see Numbers J is in the building. Thank you for coming in and rocking with us. Man, had so much fun today. Like I said, I was in a really, really super good mood. I knew I was gonna say some stuff that people are gonna be, pushing back on. I expect that. That's cool. Today's positive quote came to me unexpectedly, and I thought it made sense. And I actually happened to see it while driving, and I thought, that's deep. Today's quote comes from a billboard, and I'm not sure who put it on there, but shout out to that person who says, patience is not a weakness. Patience is not a weakness. And what that message meant to me and what it should mean to you is anything that is worth happening or will happen or that is worth having that you should have will take time for it to come. For example, like we all want to take off and run, but unfortunately we got to go through a stage. We got to learn how to crawl first, and then we get to walking. Then we start to move our legs a little bit faster, and then we run. This is a level of patience. Patience is not a weakness. If you are planning to do something or you are planning for something big to happen in your life and it feels like it's just taking too long, remember that there is always a light at the end of the tunnel because patience is not your weakness. Your weakness is allowing time to now dictate what you cannot control. You can't control time, but you can control your patience through the time, thus having some mastery over time itself. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that you hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell. And as always, make sure you hit them comments. And I love responding to y'all in the comments when we have different topics. And as always, don't be no chump. Please do your research. We are out.